So in this video we're going to go into some details about how you can make edits on your Squarespace website and how the editor page is structured. So if you remember from the last video, to go in and actually make the edits, we need to go to the top left and click the edit button here, and this brings it up full screen. So this is basically the template we had in the previous video. Apart from this line of text here, which I've changed, everything is exactly the same. And while it looks very nice, a lot of the information here is clearly not relevant. It's just placeholder information, and I want to tailor make the experience to my needs. Okay, so the first thing I want to discuss is how the page is structured. Squarespace structures their pages in what are called sections or rows. So if you see here, this section is surrounded by this blue box. If I scroll down, this is another section. This is surrounded by this blue box, and so on and so forth. This is just ways you can edit and tailor specific parts of the pages. Towards the top is the header. This here is universal across every single page of your website. It contains your website title or logo, should you upload your logo. It contains the navigation bar here, it's being hidden by this button, but it contains the navigation bar which we discussed earlier, and it also has a button which is defaulted to contact us. And just like the header, if we go all the way down to the bottom, we have the footer, which is also universal across the entire website. In this template, the footer is just this section here, and once again placeholder information, but it contains the name of the template, some a dummy address, some dummy contact details, and links to social media. Those links don't go anywhere. Okay. So what edits do we actually want to make? If you're designing your own website from scratch, it's a good idea to plan out roughly what you want your site to look like. But for me, I'm thinking that this being the homepage of my website, it should introduce anyone coming here to my company, give a brief bit of information about my company so people know what I do, people know what services I provide, and also we need a call to action. A call to action is something which invites the user or potential customer to do something which we want. In this case, being that I'm designing this website for an optician's, I want the call to action to be, hey, book an appointment with us or get in touch with us and we can help you. Okay. So how do we actually make the edits? If we look at the sections first, we have this section here. This has welcome to my website, schedule a consultation today. We're going to change this later, but for now what I want to do is focus on our services. I like this, but I don't want it here. I want it higher up the page. So how can we do that? If we click in the section, and if you go to the top right, you notice we have several options. Going from left to right, we have the delete button. If we hit that delete button, it will delete the section. We don't want to do that. To the left of that, we have a move down, and to the left of that, we have a move up button. This is pretty self-explanatory. If we click move down, it will move the section down in the web page. Now you see it's underneath this photo. I don't want it down, I want it up. I want this. I want it up here. I want it to be one of the first things we see. Okay? This button here is duplicate. This duplicates the section. So if I hit that, you now see we have 2 in a row. This here allows us to go into more specific edits. So here we have the section height, the content width, content alignment. It also gives us the option to change background. By background, this means background image. You can put a background image across the entire section, and also allows us to change the color scheme for that section. If you remember previously, we discussed in design, we had these color schemes: white minimal, white bold, etc. This is where we pull this from. Okay. So first thing, I like where this is for our services, but I don't like how it's the same color as the top of the page. So how do we change it? Well, we're already in the colors section, so I'm just going to change it from light bold to the white bold color scheme. Well, there you go. Now it's white. It's still got the same font colors, but now the background is white. I like that because it creates a bit more of a differentiation between the top and here. Okay. Now I want to actually edit this content in our services, because obviously it's not relevant to us. So just like we edited this, the website header here, we want to edit these individual, what are called content blocks. So a content block is anything you place within a section. This here is an example of a content block. It's a piece of text. This here is a spacer. This is also a content block. Although it's used to help the structure of your website and make everything look nice. To add a content block, you can see when I hover over anything, we have these plus symbols above, below, and in the middle. If you click this plus icon, Squarespace gives you the option to add all the different content blocks. And as you can see, there are many. So we have text, we have images, we have videos, we have buttons, we have lines, spaces. We have various different more advanced image layouts. We have various what are called summary blocks. These are more curated blocks which allow you to match up images to text. And we have more advanced options down here. As you can see, we can add some code. That's not necessary at all. And going further down, we have more social blocks. There are lots of blocks, and I'm not going to go into what each one does, because otherwise I'll be here for ages. And should you wish to explore them, Squarespace has lots of resources on its help page describing what each one is and how to get it working. For now, I'm going to keep it simple with text, images, videos, buttons, and the like. So if I wanted to add one of these blocks, I would simply click the plus button, as I did, hover over here, and select the block I want. And as you can see, I have this text box down here. There you go. I don't actually want that though, because this is not relevant to my website. So to delete this, you hover over the content block, you go up to where it says text in the top left of the block, click on that, and once again you have a trash can. Yes, I want to remove it. Okay, so what services do we provide? Well, the services you provide in your business, only you will know. But as my fictitious optician's business, I'm going to offer eye tests. I'm going to offer contact lenses. and I am going to offer prescription glasses. And I misspelled prescription. That's all I want on my front page of a website for now. I don't want to give my my users, my potential customers, too much information, or overload them with information rather. So everything from here down I'm going to delete. So just like I said before, to delete a block, you click on it. If a trash can doesn't show up, just hover over to where it says spacer or the name of that content block, click on it and delete. Yes. Okay. Brilliant. So that all looks good. So now what do I want to do? Now I want to add my call to action. So people, they log onto my website, they see, oh, I'm an optometry website, they see the message, welcome to my website, and I want to think of call to actions. So the template already has something kind of built in with this text here saying schedule a consultation today, and if you click over it, you see it's linked to the Contact Us page. What is the Contact Us page? If we save what we've done and go into the pages screen, you will see over here in the not linked section there is a page called Contact Us. This looks a little bit like this. So it contains the words schedule consultation, has a consultation form, dummy addresses, so on and so forth. Like the rest of the template, all of this is placeholder information. Do we want to link to this page on our homepage? I believe we can, but I don't like having this text here do it. So I'm going to delete that. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add a button. So we're going to add a content block in the same manner as we've done before. So hit this plus button, and we're going to choose button. Brilliant. So for a lot of content blocks, there are some settings you can change. For text, this isn't so much the case, although you do have the usual formats and font changes you can make. But as a button has a bit more advanced functionality, there are settings you can change. To do that, you click on the content block, and if you notice, as well as the trash can, we have the edit button. It contains the same symbol as the edit button on the section. Okay, so we're going to click on that, and this brings up this window here. And here we have two tabs. The first tab is content, and it gives us two options. So the first is text. This basically just is what the text is on the button. By default it says learn more. I want to change it to book an appointment. And here is the link. So this is when someone clicks this button, where does that take the user? We can link to an external website. So for example, if we wanted to type in, if we typed in google.com, if anyone clicks on that button, it would take them to Google. I don't want to do that. I want to take them to a page on our website. I want to take them to that Contact Us page. So to do that, click on this cog. If you make sure you're on page on the left, and then if you click in here and you have the various web pages we can link to on our website, I'm going to select Contact Us, and then I'm going to click Save. This button down here, this is if you want that link to open in a new window. So if you click that, whenever someone clicks on that button, it will open up that web page, but in a new window or a new tab. If you don't select that, it will be like normal navigation. So I'm going to hit save. Brilliant. I want to add another button on the Our Services page, Our Services section rather, which we worked on earlier. So in the same manner, I'm going to click this plus button. I am going to select the button content block, and I'm going to edit its settings. I actually like the default learn more text here. I feel that's relevant. And for the link, in the same manner, we're going to click into that, go into page, and we're going to link to our services page. We'll click on that, and we are going to save. So now whenever anyone looks at that, if they click on that, it will take us to our services, and it will give them more detail about the services we provide. If we go to the design tab, we have some very basic ways to customize this button. The size of the button, large, small, medium. I'm going to stick to medium, and then we have alignment. So as you would in a text editor, left, right, or center aligned. That's brilliant. I like this, but I want to make some edits to the section itself. So we briefly discussed what is in here. I want this section with our services to be a little bit smaller in height. So I'm going to go under section height, and I'm going to click small. And to me, that just looks nicer. Obviously large will make it bigger. If we click these three dots here, it will allow us to make a more customized choice with a numeric value. So obviously moving the slide all the way up will make it bigger, all the way down will make it smaller. I'm just going to keep to the default small. Content width works in the same manner, but obviously with a width. So large, small, medium, corresponding to the width of the content in the section. And just like most other services, we can align the content. So we can align it left, right, middle, or up, down, middle. Because I've made this smaller, that doesn't really make a huge amount of change. But if we had the content height larger, if we moved it to the middle, obviously you can see there's a more pronounced change. I'm just going to keep that in the middle. Brilliant. So that's looking good for me now. One thing I do want to do though is I want to have an image up here at the top instead of this this pastel color. Okay. Now I realize when you're watching this video, this doesn't look like a pastel color. This looks white. That's an issue with my screen recording software. Trust me, this is like a light cream pastel color. Okay, so I'm going to go into edit, and I'm going to go into background, and I want to add a image. We can do this in two ways. If you have an image saved on your device, on your hard drive, just click here, add an image, and it will bring up the file browser, and you can import an image like you would. So I'm going to click on that, and I am going to select this image. This is one of the glasses we provide, or the frames we provide at Liberty Glasses. I'm going to hit open, and it's going to load that up, and it will take a little bit, but not too long, hopefully. And as you can see, we now have that there. Obviously, that's, I don't know, it actually looks surprisingly better than I thought it would, but that's not the image I want. We have another option down here called Search Images. If we click that button, this opens up a mini search browser where we can access free stock photography. So what that is it's a little bit like Shutterstock, only you don't have to pay. And the images we are able to use on our website without having to worry about copyright or content rights or anything like that. So we're going to enter into the search bar something relevant to optometry. There was an image I saw a while ago and I need to try and find it again. So I'm going to search glasses. And this is it here. So to select this image, you hover over it and you click select, and it'll bring up a little bit larger. It's still not huge, but it allows you to view it. And if you want to add it to your site, you click add to site. And in the same manner as before, it will load for a little bit and hopefully it will come up soon. And there we go. And to me, that looks nice. It has the spectacles, which is relevant to optometry. It's a nice colour. The background kind of keeps in the theme of the rest of the template. It's kind of this, it's a bit of a deeper colour, but it's still very much a pastel shade. And the text is still legible, as is the button, and that looks good to me. One thing I do want to do is, if you notice the image is cropped a little bit, I want to bring it up so the spectacles are more in view. So if we go back to this window here, if you notice in the middle there's a little circle. That is the focal point of the image. So if we click on that and if we drag it down, it will bring more of the spectacles in view. Brilliant. So that's all looking good to me. So now let's talk about these other two sections. We have this section here, which is nice, but it doesn't really do anything. So I'm going to delete that for now. So there you go. That image there I'm going to keep. You can upload your own image in the same manner as we did here for the header. And over here, I'm going to use this as an area to have a testimonial or a motivational message. If when you get this template, this is something you can decide whether you want to keep or not. But for now, we're going to do some minor edits for this. So if you notice, this is an image block. Okay. So we're going to click on that, and we have the same option to edit. So to change the image is exactly the same manner as this area here we did. So if we remove this image, we can either click add image from our computer itself, or we can search for images. I'm going to add an image because this is me. If you want to know what I look like, it's going to take ages to load. And while we're doing that, I'm going to change this text. I couldn't see before, and now I can see clearly. You're amazing. There you go. That is a really cheesy and completely made up testimonial, but you get the point. There you go, and you can see that's me loaded in. It looks a little bit better with a portrait photo, but I don't have any to hand. We're going to hit design. And here we have various design options. So at the moment it is a collage, which is like you see here. We can have it stacked, in which case you have an image at the top and the quotes or text towards the bottom. We have inline, which is in a similar manner. We have poster, where the text is physically on top of the image. We have card, it's to the side but it's clearly separate. Overlap in the same manner, but the text slightly overlaps. And as you can see, the collage where it's in its own box there. Okay. I don't like this image of me, so I'm going to change that to something portrait. I think it looks better that way, but you don't need to see that. You just so you know how the functionality of how this works. Okay.